Hello, and you're welcome to yet another edition of My Opinion on Clevenard TV. I remain Franca Idimundia. This afternoon, I have a young lady in the house. She's a student in the South African University, and we'll be discussing life as a student in South Africa. Please join me as I made welcome Miss Ifeyinwa Ebuzeme. Miss Ifeyinwa, you're welcome to My Opinion.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, your first name is Promise. So let me keep to that. Miss Promise. Is that right? So Miss Promise, you are the Assistant Secretary of the National Association of Nigerian Students in South Africa.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Let's hear from you. Tell us one or two things about yourself.
Okay. Like I said, my name is Promise Ebuzeme Ifeyinwa Chinyere. I'm from Anambra State, Nigeria, precisely Oba. And I'm 24 years old. I've been in South Africa since 2013. I came to South Africa when I was 16 years old. And I've been there. I did my grade 11, my grade 12, and I got to university here in South Africa. And I do karate as a sport. It's my hobby, and now it has become part of me. That's literally Promise.
That's good to hear. You're in Nigeria, and then you obviously went to South Africa to school. You chose South Africa over Nigeria, if I should use that word. Now, why did you do that?
Not
you could
really.
have chosen to Nigeria, but
I didn't choose Nigeria. South Africa over Nigeria. I came to South Africa because my mom was here. So while I was in Nigeria, I used to stay with my aunt in Nigeria. Then all my sisters were in university, and I was like the only one staying with my aunts there in Nigeria. And I told my mom, I'm like, you know what? Why can't I come to South Africa and be with you? At least I get to be with my mom, because I'm the last born of 6 girls and their family. So, you know that things, they still that baby spirit in me somehow. So I was like, can't I just come join you in South Africa, and start my own life there in South Africa? And she's like, that's fine. Just speak to your uncles. And I did. I spoke to my uncles, and they did fix everything. And yeah, I came to South Africa. Although it's crazy, but I love it here.
It's all right, it's a good one. So can you tell us your experience as a student in South Africa?
Being a student in South Africa, it's not like it has been that easy, but it's been good. It's been a good experience for me, because I don't know anything about Nigeria university. When I came to South Africa, I knew, because I left Nigeria when I finished my SS2. When I finished my SS2, I came to South Africa. South Africa has this policy: if you knew in South Africa, especially when you're in high school, you have to they take you down, like 1 year down. So I did SS2 again, which was grade 11 in South Africa. Although it was sad for me, because repeating the same class I've done, and now it's like I wasted 2 years of my life, because of moving from Nigeria to South Africa, and now I have to repeat the same class again. So, but the experience has been great. I'll say it's been an opportunity for me, because I don't think the opportunity I have here in South Africa, I would have gotten it in Nigeria. So it's a great experience for me.
It's all right. Now, what is the educational system like in South Africa? How would you define it, the educational system?
I think the educational system here, it's great compared to, I don't know about Nigeria. I can't speak much about Nigeria because I didn't study in Nigeria. Yeah. So if I'm saying anything about Nigeria.
I'm not actually asking to differentiate it. Okay, but just speak about educational system in South Africa. So that would be good. That'll be okay. Is that right?
Okay. The educational system here in South Africa is it's great. They have a national qualification framework, which is up to 11 NQF 11, which is great. It's really great. it's a great educational
Is
system.
that right? Yeah. Is that right? So before leaving Nigeria to go to South Africa, do you have any expectations about what you get there? Was there any expectation?
I think I came like, I think
Just
when I was coming to South Africa, there was nothing. I wasn't even thinking about anything because I was just 16 years old. So I was just going with my head without thinking about anything. I came blank without thinking about anything. So I just followed the system. It was difficult because imagine coming in grade 11 where you don't even know the language. You have to choose. I had to change my whole subject from government to tourism. Like I literally changed everything about my educational system. So it was tough for me, but I did go through it, and it was yeah.
is that right? So are you happy that you made the choice?
Yes, I'm happy. I'm really happy.
Is that right? Now we'll come to one of the main discussions for today, which is Dudula. I don't know what I've heard the name severally, and I'm like, what is the meaning of Dudula? What does that really mean? What does Dudula mean?
Dudula is a word in South African language, isiZulu. It means push. It means push. It means push. So sorry. So sorry about that. Sorry. It means push. It means force out, to push someone, to force someone out, something like that. That's the meaning of Dudula.
Okay, something to do with hostility. Something to do with hostility, being hostile to foreigners.
Yes. So it's a group of people that just came together, and they feel like it's unfair to share resources with foreign nationals, especially those that are undocumented.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So it's like an anti.
Okay. Okay. I understand that. But now, studying under such an environment, I would say that what you just explained, it has to do with being hostile towards foreigners. Now, studying under such environment or circumstances, how does it affect you as a student?
I think as a student, it hasn't really affected we as students. I don't know if it has affected anyone, but it makes us live in fear because we don't know if one day they'll be like, pack your bags and leave the country.
That's the effect you're talking about.
You know?
Yeah,
So
it's
scary sometimes, especially when it gets to a point whereby it's violent and they're destroying places, buildings. Just like in my area, this last month, I literally watched the market got burnt. I woke up around 12 midnight. I woke up and I was hearing boom, 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 boom. And I went outside and I went to the market, and the market was catching fire. So they burnt the market, and it was scary because that there could be someone in the market that maybe doesn't have any shelter, and they're just managing to just stay in the market. Nobody even knows, low key, and they decide to burn the place. So it was really scary. It's really scary sometimes knowing that one day we're gonna be told to just leave the country.
So when something of that nature happens, does it affect your studies?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't affect our study.
But
Except
in a way,
it's like a national strike.
Okay. So if, for example, you have things of that nature, do you really have people, like an association, watching out for you when things like this happens? Did you get that question?
Sorry, come again?
Do you have any organizations,
no,
that watches out for you in case of eventualities like this? Maybe the High Commission and
like we have yes, we do have the High Commission, because the High Commission step into place to help students, especially. There are so many times I know they help when they ask us for what's the issue. We tell them the issues we experiencing. So they do help with funds, because sometimes in institutions like this, sometimes people struggle to go out and just get and get food and all those things. So that's where the Eye Commission come in, helping with fundings to cater for a lot of people.
Okay. Now, there's a group, I think it has to be linked to the Dudula we just talked about, which is the Put South African First and group. Okay, are they part of the Dudula group you just talked about?
I think, yes, they are.
Yeah, they are.
I think they are.
Okay, now we heard in the last in the last opera they made accusations that Nigerian, the reason they fight with Nigerians is because Nigerians are into drug dealing and in child and human trafficking. How true is that statement?
You know, it's funny. I always tell people a lot of people are involved in crime that are not even Nigerians. There are so many countries that selling drugs, but I think the reason why everything is always blamed on Nigerians is because Nigeria is a known country. We are known to be everywhere, all over the world. So it's easy to just blame the people they can easily see, and everybody's used to blaming Nigerians. So it's easy to just put the blame on the people we know that, you know, they can take the blame, which are Nigerians. So even when Zimbabwe does something, they blame it on Nigeria. Any any country does anything, it's always a Nigerian. So it's like that. But I don't believe it's really I know there are Nigerians that do this, but I don't think it's just Nigerians. So when they specifically blame it on Nigerians, it's sad, but it's what it is.
Yeah, but do you think one day we can actually end up making a great impression one of these days? Can we really get that?
Yeah, I think we Nigerians, we also play the role in creating these bad names for ourselves, and we can also change this name, because a lot of us, we're so proud. Nigerians are known to be proud, and when we have small money, we want to show the whole world that we have this money, and I think that's what is putting us there. So they see this thing and they're like, no, these are the people, they always show off. It's easy, let's blame it on them, it's them. So I think we Nigerians, we need to start creating good names for ourselves and we have good names, funny enough, we have great names. We've made great names for ourselves, you know, and they know us as we're good in football, we're good in so many things, even academically, in South Africa and all over the world. We Nigerians are ruling, but we keep allowing the bad names to cover that good name, which is not good. So I think we Nigerians, we really need to work hard in stepping out there and making the good name we're building for ourselves to come out more than the bad names.
Is that right? Thank you so much, Miss Promise. We'll go back to you shortly. We'll take a short break here. And viewers, please don't go away. In the next few minutes, we'll be back with Miss Promise and her life story in South Africa. Thank you.
Starting a blog for the first time is an amazing, yet intimidating experience. Thinking that people are actually going to read, and even share, something you wrote. It's unlike any other feeling I can describe. But it's not all rainbows and butterflies. Starting a blog is hard work, and there are a lot of pitfalls along the way. Especially if it's your first time. Creating a blog account is easy and straightforward on Clevenard. Signing up is 100% free on Clevenard. Stand out online with professional bloggers. With Clevenard Blog, you can turn any idea into a reality. Don't miss the opportunity today, tomorrow may be too late.
Well, you're welcome back. I still have Miss Promise on the set with me, and we're discussing about life in South Africa as a student. All right, Miss Promise, let's go over to your hobbies now. I learned you are very good in sports. So what kind of sports are you into?
I do karate.
That's a good one, because considering the way I'm looking at you now, karate, you handling karate, like, so how have you been able to cope with that? Because normally I would have thought somebody with strong muscles should do karate. So how have you been coping with that? Is that right?
I do have strong bones.
So let's get to your experience.
Anyways, karate is not
Okay.
Sorry?
Let's get to hear of your experience.
Okay.
How have you fared?
Okay. I started karate in 2016 in my first year in university. I just joined it. You know, it's at first it was all about the sponsorship, because when you join sports in South Africa, you get sponsorship. You know, they sponsor you with some amount of money for the fees. Then I think for my first year when I joined it, and I'm like, okay, this is fun, because I've done a lot of sports over the years. I did lawn tennis, I've done swimming, and I used to be an athlete, running, and it wasn't fun, but joining karate, it was really fun. I really enjoyed doing karate. So it has been a great experience for me. It has been a life-changing experience for me, literally.
Okay, so what have you accomplished so far in the sports?
I represent my school.
I
represent my school in university tournament, South Africa.
Okay.
And I've won golds, I've won silvers, I've won bronze. Recently, wow. Even after I haven't trained since 2020 because of COVID. So this year was my first. I went back to tournaments this year, and I went for a provincial tournament last month, and I got 2 gold medals.
Okay.
I went again for another university tournament, and I got a bronze. So I've really accomplished a lot in just the 5 years frame of doing karate.
That's a great one. So how do you cope with sports and your studies? How do you cope with both?
It's not easy. It has not been easy for me, but I think I learned how to balance my education and my sport to make sure that I'm doing well in my education and I'm doing well in my sport. And
very important.
I set time. I did set time for everything. You know, I go to training by 5 o'clock. When I was in school, I trained by 5 o'clock to 7 p.m. So I have the whole morning to attend classes. Then by 5 o'clock, I know that, okay, I have training. If I know I'll be in school, I have a late class, I make sure I go with my karate gi so that after my class, I can just go change and go for training. And over my first year, my second year, my third year, I was able to combine both without any distraction, and it went well, even till now. Even though I'm working and I'm schooling and I'm doing karate, so now I'm combining 3 of them at the same time.
Okay.
And it's been great.
Right. So, what advice would you give to maybe other students that want to come into the sport itself as a student?
My advice for them is they should learn how to prioritize. And for you to do sports, you need to love it. Because one thing I realized about the youth that goes astray these days is because they have a lot of times in their hands. If you're busy like me, I was busy with school, I was busy with my sports. There's no time to play. There's no time to. I go for parties like every other student, but only parties that concern me, like the Nigerian student parties and all those things. So as a student, you need to learn how to prioritize what is more important and the least important, which a lot of students struggle in doing that. But if you really know what you want, and being a Nigerian student, we know where we're coming from. We know how tough it is, and you don't want to let your guards down. Obviously, you have to learn how to prioritize both your education and sport.
Okay. All right. So for any or every Nigerian that want to come to South Africa to school or to study, what would be your advice for such students?
South Africa is great. The education system here is great. So I'll advise everyone that wants to come, anyone that wants to come to South Africa to study, to come. But with regards to safety, you really need to know the crime hotspot places in South Africa. Like we know Johannesburg, even though Johannesburg is a big city, but there are a lot of dangerous sports in South Africa. So I think before you come to South Africa, you need to learn that, okay, this area you don't have to go to. These are the places you can go to. So I think that's the number one thing you must learn so that you can be safe in South Africa. Okay. And you must understand the educational system, because a lot of people just come without knowing what the educational system is. So I think you need to do your own research, a thorough research on how the educational system works before you come to South Africa.
It's all right. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you in the house. But I need you this weekend. You have an event going on in your school, which is your inauguration. Okay, can we hear one or two words about it?
Yeah.
Inauguration.
Yes.
You're having this
okay. So I'm under NANSA, National Association of Nigerian Students in South Africa. It's an organization that has all schools in South Africa in one umbrella. So we help Nigerian students in South Africa. This is how we are able to reach out to every Nigerian student in South Africa. And obviously, for us to do this, we have to have a body that can rule, to reach out to other students. So this weekend, we'll be having an inauguration at the consulate this weekend, at the embassy this weekend.
Yes, all right. There's no problem. Maybe we'll bring one or two persons on board next time to talk more on that. But I need to give you your last word of advice for the parents sending their children down to South Africa to school, and the students themselves getting ready to come to South Africa to school. Just the last word.
Okay. My advice to the parents is to always, because a lot of parents send their children out there. I know I've experienced a lot of students in my school, in Val University, whereby these parents, they just send their kids to South Africa and they don't care about, I don't know how a parent does that. You don't care so much about the kids. So I think for a parent, you must make sure that you know where you're sending your child to. That one is very important, and you should be able to have enough funds to always get your child to come back to Nigeria so that you can see that your child is really alive and your child is doing well, because there are so many kids that are really suffering here in South Africa, and they have no one to reach out to because they don't have the platform. Some people, they just stay under their own shell and they don't speak up. So we must encourage. Also encouraging a lot of students to please reach out to all these organizations, reach out to the embassy, make sure your documents are intact, because that's another problem, because a lot of students you want help, but you don't have the right documentation, and no one can help you if you don't have a proper documentation. Like with regards to the passport thing, you can't wait until when is a month for your passport to expire before you apply for a new passport. No, you have to apply for a passport at least 6 months before the expiry date. So my advice is just, if you come into South Africa, just make sure you have all your documentation all right. Make sure you follow the rule, the law. There's law in every nation. Don't decide that you want to take law in your own hands. Just listen to the people around and always try to do what you're asked to do, and everything will be fine. You just enjoy your stay in South Africa.
Yes, all right. Thank you so much, Miss Promise. Thank you for being my guest this afternoon, and I do hope you'll come on set some other time.
I will. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, and viewers, that is all we have for today. That's all we draw the curtain for today. Till next time, we will come your way with another breathtaking guest. Is a bye from here.
Let's sell on your behalf. If your item sells on our web shop, you pay a 10% commission plus the transaction fees, and you get the rest. Register now at www.shop.clevenard.com. Start uploading your product and services. We can really sell it on your behalf so you can carry on working on the things important to you. Are you looking to sell any type of product or service and you want to avoid the hassle involved? Selling can be an arduous and time-consuming process. At Clevenard Supershop, we will be happy to take over the workload of promoting or selling your products or services. All you need to do is to register at www.shop.clevenard.com, enter your shop or vendor information, and then start uploading your product and services. We will do the selling. Now, be ready to get more sales and awareness. Start making more money from your business with Clevenard Supershop by partnering with us today.